All right, what's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. It is September 10th, 2020, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again for taking the time out of your day to join me. This is GAR Capital's YouTube channel. I am Carlos Garcia, the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. Make sure to click bottom right-hand corner of your screen. There's a little white box there. Take a look at that. Click there. That would be your like, subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications for our channel. Great videos to come. I'm working on some other content. I'm going to talk elections on the podcast and also on the video YouTube channel. And you never know when I bring up something new. I know you guys love it. So thank you so much, guys. I think we're at 4,800 and something subscribers. We're trying to get to 10K so we could do a live trading session again. That was really fun last time. We just got the 9 a.m. turn, so let's go ahead and talk market, shall we? Dow futures up 4 points, basically flat. Nasdaq soaring. Looks like in slight recovery mode. We got a little more to go. I'll go over that here in the monologue. Up 104 points. S&P futures up about a quarter point. 8.25 at 3408, right above that 3400 level. Even Russell 2000 index up about 0.45% futures pre-market. Crude oil again sinking 1.66% below that 40 support level that I've been talking about, 37.42. Crude is very ugly. That's why I would stay away from any kind of energy stocks. I've been saying it. I have had some people ask me about the dividend yields for Exxon, and I say stay away because they may just cut it or not pay it. 10% for a mega cap crude oil company or refiner is just way too much. Bitcoin futures up 70, 103, 10,390. The 10,000 is support, right up 0.68%. Gold futures up 0.5%, 1965 an ounce. Silver futures 2761, up nearly 2%. ECB just had a meeting right now. Lagarde was talking about they're watching the FX currency swaps and the move with the euro. It's up 0.75%, 88 pips to the upside, 118.91. Dollar yen is down 13 pips for my Forex people, 106.04. Dollar is weakening down 0.5%, which is good for stocks. As you can see, the multinationals, the big conglomerates are boosting with that. For example, Apple, that is at 92.83 on the index. And the VIX is down about nearly 3% pre-market below that 30 level, which I've been watching. It's at 27.99. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this. So I got a couple of trades open. Obviously, it looks like Intel and Microsoft are not going to pan out. We had it last week. Intel with some unusual options activity, but again, with the big flush in Nasdaq, it hurt it. Nothing you could do. We just take the L and move on. Also with Microsoft as well. Again, with slight push here and there, but again, that big flush and the 3rd of September, really hurt our positions. Nothing you could do. You just got to wait it out. So I'm still holding it. Maybe we get some kind of like crazy news, TikTok news that Microsoft can boost us up, or Intel. That's what I just hold it. You'd never really know. I had some SPY puts yesterday with our members. We cut for the loss 75%. We were in the money at 6 p.m. the day before. So I mean, it just turned. We had the boost in the market, and you have to be very nimble. You gotta have to get out. We got into QQQ yesterday. We got a nice 40% on the call side. We also have some Apple calls, the 120s. They had about 117,000 in volume. We got into that. We are in the money now, so we'll go ahead and bank on that. I'm seeing a lot of movement here that I really like here. Qs are very interesting. 280.78 is a 38.2 fib line. My target is a 285 fib, which is the 50% retracement on the 1 hour. If you're a fib person, you probably see this is upside down. You probably put the 100% retrace at 0 at the bottom point. I do it upside down. I put the 100% retrace at the recent highs since it's a bull market. So if you don't like it this way, you could just flip it. It really depends on you, but I like it this way. I mean, is it to the T? Is it textbook? No, but again, it's just easier for me. So 285.22 is your 50% retracement, which would be half of the loss of the flush that we've had since last Wednesday. So again, we are bouncing off the lows of 266.42. We're up about $14 off that, and I think 285.22 is definitely in the cards. Really good news on the hourlies that we're above the 100-day moving average. I like that a lot. 288.71 is your 200-day. That would basically turn the trend, in my opinion. Again, that's about near the 61.8 fib. If you get out of that, out of the woods there, that's a really great sign for the bulls. Again, guys, to me, this is a healthy correction in a bull market. We saw this in 2009. To me, this market is compared to 2009, not 1999. And 2009, if you look at charts before, I can't really bring it up now. Let me see if I can get a chart on the S&P. 2009 S&P, S&P chart. I'm gonna go and bring that up. Let's see if I could get that. Let me see if I can get that macrotrends.net. 2009. See if I can get that. Let me see if I can pull that analog for you. I would pull it on TOS, but it's gonna kind of ruin what I have in my screen. So let me see if I can pull this here. S&P 2009 chart. 2019. 2009. Trying to find that chart on 2009. Ah, come on. Okay, mile market swings. That's 2007. I don't want that. Well, either way, I can't really bring it up here. My apologies, guys. But 2009 is my analog for the market. Again, we had pullbacks in 2009 when we bottomed out in March 2009. And I believe that we did bottom out in March of 2020. And then we get that continuation to the upside. So let me see if I can bring up SPX. Let me see if I can bring up the longest term I can get. Let me see if I can bring up maybe a 20-year. So let me go ahead and bring up a 20-year chart. And let me go ahead and add. And I'll apply. And okay. So let's go ahead and get to the 20-year chart. Okay, 20-year chart. Beautiful. Let's see if I can bring this up. 20-year chart, time frame, 20 years. Let's see if I can bring up a weekly chart. That'll be a little easier to see. Ah, there we go. Little better. Okay, so you could see here as we bring up SPX, which is the S&P 500 index, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right in 2009. We kind of bottomed out right around March. So March 2009, I believe is right here. March 2009, we hit a low of 666.79. And then we did a nice little rise. So this to me, from March all the way to around May, is kind of like the summertime that we've had now. But then we kind of fell again down to around 874 from the high of 955. So it's about 100 handles on S&P. And then we had that kind of a drop. So that's kind of a 10% move to the downside or correction from that 2009 analog. And you could see that boost to the upside all the way from 666 to the end of the year. Now, granted, this was after a presidential election, sure. But again, you could see another correction here, right? A big pop from 1144 down to around 1044, about 100 points. Actually, to the T, about 10%. And then a nice little bounce to 1214. And then we had some consolidation period right around 2010. And you could see just on and so forth. In a 3-year period, we went from 666 in the S&P to right around over doubling it to about 1500. So that's the analog that I'm using in regards to the market now with the S&P and the Nasdaq, is that you get a bottoming out in March and then you get the continuation. What's the similarities between these two is that the Fed policies are very similar. The Fed was very accommodative in 2009 due to the housing crisis and the great financial recession. The great financial was it recession? I guess we were financial crisis, excuse me. So we had that Fed who was very, very accommodative, lower rates. You're talking about bond buying, the whole nine. What is the difference now? If anything, we're doing it more now than we were then. Again, we have a bigger balance sheet. The Fed owns around about 30% of the MBS mortgage-backed securities in the United States. So again, the rates are going to stay low, and the Fed has mandated that the next 3 to 5 years the rates will stay low. So again, this is why I've said the S&P will hit 4,000 within 12 months. Again, when monetary policy is very easy, guys, that's what you really want to stay bullish because the Fed is mandating that. You're not going to put money in money markets or savings accounts. You're going to go ahead and actually put it into little riskier assets, into more speculative assets, into growth because you're pushing growth into companies. That's what they want. So again, this is the analog that I'm basically following, and I think that we're right here in the first of maybe the next 3 or 2 corrections. There's a correction. We didn't even hit correction in S&P yet. All we know is correction in the Nasdaq. So correction was for me healthy, and then we'll get a nice little boost as we get to after the election, probably closer. We do have October's earnings reports, but I'm expecting Q3 GDP to be very strong, regardless of who wins the White House. You have Trump, who has been a boon for the stock market. Granted, a couple of blips here and there, 2018 and now in March. And then you have Biden, who's pretty much a moderate Democrat, not exactly far left like Bernie. But again, we can go back and forth in politics. It really is kind of irrelevant. All we get is one vote anyway. So again, I'll go into details for each candidate's tax plan, what it means for your money on the podcast. I'm getting the details set. I haven't seen the first debate yet, so again, it's really important to get all the pertinent information before everyone starts sending me hate mail that they hate Biden or they hate Trump, and everyone's going to want to crucify me. So let's get the facts straight. Then I'll go over with you which candidate backs what, how the market would react, and so on and so forth. Now, again, how you vote is your business. Feel free to vote however you want. So either way, but I'll go over that on the podcast and the YouTube channel when we get there. But again, I'm still following this analog of 2009. The similarities there, again, like I talked about on the podcast, why we're still bullish is the fact that the Fed is very easy with policy. Again, I like that. When it's very easy for policy, it's very bullish for markets, regardless of what you think in regards to debt in the United States. This is the thing you want to find. And every dip you should be buying, in my opinion. And that's what I've been doing with my money and our group. We've been buying dips here. And again, you're going to get a pop. I still say 4,000 S&P within 12 months, which would be next August. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. We weren't wrong in March when we called the bottom of 2,300 and we were buying stocks then. So again, I am still of the camp of stay bullish. I'm still there. And if everyone thinks the world's going to end, so be it. But again, I'm still nabbing up stocks that I think are relatively on sale. That's just my talk on there. All right, so I know it's a lot there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me go ahead and bring up my chart again on Qs. That's what I wanted to see. I know it's a lot of lines on my screen. I apologize. It's a 1 hour chart on the fib line. Okay, good morning. Good morning. First week as a member. Welcome, Mahmoud. Brandon says Apple. Yes, we have calls. Good morning, DKNG and Penn. I do own DKNG, which is DraftKings. I actually just entered my first DraftKings fantasy football thing for today. The Chiefs and the Texans. So a little fun. Again, why not eat a home cooking, play a little fantasy football? I'm a shareholder of DraftKings. If you follow me on Twitter, on my personal Twitter, CEO G.A.R Capital, feel free to follow me. It's open for everybody. Again, I talk sports, I talk different things, and I'll probably post my lineup there if you want to take a look at it. Penn was price upgraded today, and they are up nicely about $4 pre-market. And I like Penn as well, but I own DraftKings anyways. Morning, Carlos. Work has been unusual options activity. Well, last time I did some unusual options activity was Intel, and I got burned. So it's not exactly based on that. Carlos was with the Texas shirt. We were Florida Gator fans. I actually lived in Texas for 8 years. So University of Texas is my team. Like the Dallas Cowboys are my team. I do live in Central Florida. I have no issue with the Gators. I like the Gators. I'm a huge Tim Tebow fan when I was younger. So again, this is just my team. It's the Longhorns. Hook 'em, baby. Spot trading, day trading today. Looking at spot again, I got to see the volume. I own the stock. We bought some on our video, and on our investment group. So we've been holding. Let's see if we go ahead and get some breaks here. I got to see the volume. I don't know if spot has a lot of volume in regards to options. Hi, Carlos. Your opinion on Zoom and Peloton today? I believe they do have their earnings soon, so I'd rather not play earnings on these. Just a heads up. Is Apple still a go? 150 end of October. 150 is very, very, very high. I would say 140 is probably your best bet. I have a Tesla 400 calls. I sell it open or be greedy. I would sell at the open. Enjoy your money. Too late to get into Apple? Yes, it would be going closing. How much do you need to trade futures with you? We recommend, I would say, to make things life easy, I would say at least 10,000, but you could trade about 5,000. Because if you do micro minis, which I talk about in the video on YouTube and our website, the margin is about 600 bucks. So there's no PDT on that, so that's great. I'm actually going to be opening a futures contract today. What do you think is a good percentage of your portfolio to hold in cash? Thanks a lot. I have around about 15% in cash currently. I think 10 to 15 seems pretty awesome because that's your ammo to buy stocks on the cheap, personally. 250 calls for December down big time, still holding. Well, mine's are I have the 240s for January, and actually pretty much flat. So I've been holding those for a while. I was up 100%, I still held it. Any AMD upside? I think AMD has upside just like most tech. I own the stock anyways. But again, you need to wait for that break of around 8508, which is the 200-day, which will change the actual trend. Square and PayPal long-term current prices or wait for a pullback. I love PayPal. I own PayPal. I think you buy here if you want to get in. I already own some. I just bought some stock yesterday, not in PayPal, but another company. It was actually Lululemon. I talked about that yesterday. So I love PayPal. And Square is very nice as well. I just don't own it. But if you want to buy it, I think right now is a good time as tech is starting to inch out to a breakout. We could be in recovery mode. Any calls or puts looking to get into? Yeah, again, I'm looking at Qs. I'm looking at SPY today. Should be very nice to play. Again, today's Thursday, so tomorrow's expiry date. Next week is OPEX day for futures and for other options contracts. So keep an eye on that. We should get some bullish movement. I had some Apple, anyways. I had some Uber with our students. With students, we closed Caterpillar yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We closed Caterpillar for 40%. We have Uber as well. We played some NKLA, Nicola. We had a break, and then it's turned red. So that's an L for us and the students. But Uber, we had an unusual options activity for 35 calls. We played it. We're still in it. We're in the money. We're waiting for the break of 35.05. Once we do, we're gonna go ahead and get out and take our money and run. But other than that, I am looking to close Apple in the morning because it had about 114,000 in volume for Friday's expiry. We played that as a signal. We're in it. We're green. We're gonna get some money today. Close out there. I'm looking at Qs. I'm looking at Apple. I'm also looking at the metals, GLD and silver. Nick, our VP, was talking about that, so we're gonna go and take a look at there too. But I really like to see Qs and SPY as well. We could probably take a look at some trades for next week expiry as well. So we'll see. Thoughts on Visa? I love it long term. Love it. Is 165 call for end of the year Apple too bullish? For the end of the year, 165 is pretty bullish. Very bullish. I would say if you're going by the end of the year, 145, 150 seems about okay. I like Docu long term. I like it, but I don't own it. What about some Nicola? I would say honestly, stay the hell away from NKLA. It's a mess, and every time I've traded, I've lost, and it's in the gulag. I never want to see it again. I never want to play it again. I never want to own it. So again, every time I've traded that stupid stock, I've lost money. So never again. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and check in with my team. We're going to take a look at futures and see what we're going to do. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you enjoyed the monologue, the 2009 analog talk with this market. If you are interested in more of the details on the macros, on why I'm bullish and our team is bullish, take a look at our podcast of why we're bullish on Anchor. It's and Spotify and Apple podcast. It's under GAR Capital podcast. Thanks again for your time, guys. We'll go ahead and talk soon. Talk to you guys tomorrow for Friday. Have a great rest of your Thursday and happy profiting.